At the very least in England, terms and descriptions are brought about to describe the ending of a football club. All around us, there are beginnings and ends. The word defunct may sound clinical, detached even, but in the world of football, it carries a haunting weight. It marks the end of a journey, the final whistle, the shutting of stadium gates that will never swing open again. To call a football club defunct is to say it has been liquidated, collapsed under financial ruin, or quietly disbanded, leaving behind empty seats, heartbroken fans, and memories that echo louder than any chant ever did. This is part 1 of my series on defunct football clubs. In this video, we're going to look at 5 clubs. Some have been defunct for a long time, while others have only just ceased to exist. Their tales are tragic, more so from a community standpoint, serving as a stark reminder of how fragile operating a football club can be, and the role we play in demanding the most appropriate people to own them. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome to my ground hopping page. On my channel, I try to bring both the football to you as I visit every football ground in the universe, while bringing you football content that is both educational and captivating. So whether you're a football romantic, a history buff, or just curious about the beautiful game's lesser known corners, make sure to stick around, because these football clubs may be defunct, but their legacies deserve one last chant. Rushden Diamonds Football Club was a bold footballing experiment born from ambition, sustained by success, and ultimately undone by financial collapse. Founded in 1992 through the merger of Rushden Town and Earthlingborough Diamonds, the club was based at Neen Park in Earthlingborough, Northamptonshire. Nicknamed the Diamonds, they quickly climbed the football pyramid, powered by the financial backing of Max Griggs, owner of Dr. Martens. The club won the Southern League Midland Division in 1993-94, followed by the Premier Division in 1995-96. Their rise continued through the Conference National, and in 2001 they achieved promotion to the Football League. The high point came in the 2002-03 season, when they won the 3rd Division title and earned a place in the 2nd Division, just 2 steps from the Premier League. But that success was short-lived. Relegated a year later, the club spiralled downward. In 2006, Rushden lost their Football League status after finishing bottom of League 2. What followed was a slow, painful decline. Without the financial support that once propelled them, the club struggled to stay aloft in the Conference National. Off the pitch, debts mounted and ownership instability deepened. Players and staff were unpaid. HM Revenue and Customs lodged a winding up petition in June 2011, revealing debts of over £750,000. On June 11th, 2011, the club was expelled from the Conference National. The league determined Rushden Diamonds could not guarantee the completion of fixtures for the 2011-12 season due to their financial position. A desperate application to join the Southern League failed. By July 7th, the club had entered administration. After 19 years of history, glory and heartbreak, Rushden Diamonds Football Club was no more. But from the ashes, a new story begins. Fans, refusing to let their club die, immediately laid plans for a phoenix club, AFC Rushden Diamonds. Formed as a fan-owned project, the new club would begin to play in 2012, starting at the grassroots level in the United Counties League Division 1. Rushden Diamonds Football Club may have folded, but their legacy lives on, not just in memories of packed terraces and promotion parades, but in the resilience of their supporters and the rebirth of a community's footballing heart. Founded in 1885, Chester City Football Club served as a footballing heartbeat in the city of Chester for 125 years. Throughout their long history, they experienced the full spectrum of highs and lows, Football League campaigns, non-league struggles, moments of optimism, and ultimately an irreversible collapse. In the late 1990s saw the club teetering on the edge. Under owner Muck Gutterman, Chester entered administration in 1998. Though they survived that brush with extinction, chaos only deepened. American businessman Terry Smith took control in 1999, even installing himself as manager. The result? Only 4 league wins. Chester were relegated from the Football League in May 2000, ending a 69-year unbroken spell. They hovered on the brink of financial ruin in the early 2000s before Stephen Vaughan stepped in. Under manager Mark Wright, Chester clawed their way back to stability and even returned to the Football League in 2004, having won the Football Conference title. But managerial churn, inconsistent performances and ever-deepening financial problems soon returned. Shortly before the 2004-05 season, Wright resigned. Liverpool legend Ian Rush was appointed manager, bringing national attention to the club. While his tenure helped stave off relegation that year, Rush's tactics drew criticism and behind-the-scenes friction mounted, especially when assistant manager Mark Aizlewood was sacked without his knowledge. Rush himself resigned in April 2005. By 2008, the cracks had become chasms. Constant changes in management, a transfer embargo, and unpaid wages saw Chester relegated again from the Football League. Just 2 weeks later, the club entered administration again, now with debts of over £7 million, including £5.5 million invested by Vaughan himself. The club began its final descent. The 2009-10 season was a mess from the outset. A 25-point deduction left them bottom of the Conference National before ball had even been kicked. Games were postponed. The FA withheld their affiliations and chaos reigned off the pitch. On the pitch, things were even worse. Attendance figures plummeted. The squad was dismantled to save money, and the team limped from one defeat to another. Their final home match was played in front of just 460 fans. In February 2010, Chester failed to fulfil a fixture against Forest Green Rovers after players refused to travel due to unpaid wages. The conference suspended the club and soon expelled them entirely. On the 10th of March 2010, Chester City Football Club was formally wound up in the High Court. A proud club with over a century of history was no more. But out of the ashes, again, a phoenix rose. Later that month, supporters announced the creation of Chester FC, a fan-owned club built from the rubble of Chester City, determined never to repeat the past. Addlestone and Weybridge Town Football Club was a modest but proud name in English non-league football, one that carried over a century of local spirit and sporting determination. Founded in 1885 as Addlestone Football Club, the team emerged from the grassroots of Surrey football, reflecting the passion of a growing community. For decades, Addlestone competed in regional competitions, steadily making a name for themselves in the lower tiers of the English football pyramid. Through the early and mid-20th century, they played with grit and ambition, wearing their distinctive all-red kit with pride. Their home was Addlestone Moor, a ground that became a familiar destination for local fans seeking honest football. The club's finest moments came in the National Cups, twice reaching the quarter-finals of the FA Vase, and in the 1974-75 FA Cup, Addlestone etched their name into local folklore. Drawn away to Brentford, they found themselves 2-0 down, but mounted a dramatic comeback to draw 2-2, forcing a replay back home. Though they lost the replay 2-0, the performance earned them admiration far beyond their usual reach. In 1980, a symbolic change arrived. Seeking to represent a broader community, the club rebranded as Addlestone and Weybridge Town Football Club. It was a new name for a new era, but sadly, the promise was short-lived. Despite their rich history and loyal following, financial pressures began to mount. The club struggled to compete with larger and better-funded rivals in the region. Attendances dipped, costs rose, and by 1985, exactly a year after their formation, the club played its final match against Waterlooville on the 27th of April. Just like that, a century of tradition came to a quiet end. Though the club is now defunct, the memory of Addlestone and Weybridge Town lives on in the hearts of those who stood by the red shirts, and in the long, often overlooked tapestry of English football history, 100 years of community, pride and passion gone, but not forgotten. Uckfield Town Football Club, fondly known as the Oakmen, were founded in 1881 and served as a stalwart of East Sussex football for over 130 years. A symbol of community pride, the club's journey through the lower tiers of English football was defined not by silverware, but by resilience, identity, and a deep-rooted passion for the game. Their league story began in earnest with entry into the Sussex County League Division 2 in 1955, but success proved elusive. After relegation in 1966, they found a new home in the Mid-Sussex Football League, where they steadily rebuilt. The 1980s and 90s brought a series of promotions, with titles in Division 3, 2, 1 and the Premier Division, culminating in a return to the County League. Though they never reached beyond Division 3, memorable highs included a 4th place finish in 2004-05 and a Sussex Intermediate Cup final appearance in 2006-07 under Adam Michaels. Despite their efforts, dwindling resources and the demands of modern football took their toll. In 2014, after 133 years, the final whistle blew. Uckfield Town FC was no more. Though their legacy survives in Phoenix club AFC Uckfield Town, the Oakmen remain a cherished chapter of local football history, now consigned to memory. Three Bridges Ladies Football Club no longer exists to grace the pitch, but its legacy is far from forgotten. Based in Crawley, Sussex, the club's journey began in 1981 as Horsham Women's Football Club, competing in the local leagues before stepping into the more competitive South East Counties League. In 1995, after several name changes and league reshuffles, they became Three Bridges Ladies Football Club, aligning with the men's team of the same name. Though they folded in 2000, their contribution to women's football still echoes today. One of the club's most remarkable achievements was nurturing a young Faye White, who joined the team at just 13 and made her first team debut at 14. Her rise to the senior England squad by 16 was a milestone, not just for her, but for grassroots women's football. She became a national icon, proving that talent can emerge from any level of the game. While the men's team continues today, the story of the Three Bridges Ladies Football Club reminds us of the fragility of support in the women's game. It's a call to action. Clubs like this deserve recognition, resources, and respect equal to their male counterparts. Women's football isn't a side story, it's part of the same game. So while Three Bridges Ladies Football Club may have hung up its boots, its spirit lives on, in every young girl picking up a ball, in every grassroots team fighting for visibility, and in Three Bridges Women, the Phoenix Club carrying forward the legacy. Let's keep their memory alive by supporting the women's game today, because history deserves a future. Thanks for watching this deep dive into defunct football clubs, teams that once brought communities together but now live on only in memory. If you enjoyed this look into football history, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more stories from the beautiful game's past. In our next video, we'll explore the inspiring journey of the British Ladies Football Club and their fight to play in an era when women were told football wasn't for them. It's a tale of courage, passion and perseverance you won't want to miss. Until, keep the spirit of the game alive, and as always, I will see you soon.